Colorado's high-definition news leader. This is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
What he's doing is wrong, and he shouldn't discriminate people just because we're not like him.
People young and old still taking to the streets in anti-Trump protests. We're asking local leaders what difference the demonstrations make. Plus, a very busy night for police in Colorado Springs. Several car chases, break-ins, and shootings. We'll tell you how you can help solve these crimes.
And here's something we haven't said for a while. Temperatures today were seasonably normal. We're going to talk about whether that lasts into your weekend with your full forecast coming up.
Good evening, and thanks for choosing KRDO News Channel 13 at 5 o'clock. I'm Heather Skold. Bart has the night off. Well, fire crews are fighting a small wildfire burning near Falcon. The fire department there just posted this photo on Twitter. They say it's just 2 acres right now, but they have several hands on it, working hard to put the fire out before it spreads. It is burning off of Hardy and Black Squirrel Roads. We'll bring you more information as we learn more. Also happening right now, crews are working to clean up a deadly motorcycle accident in Pueblo. This is what the scene looked like when the crash happened. Police say a motorcycle rider crashed into a car while he was in the southbound lane of Prairie at Amherst Avenue. That intersection is still closed while crews clean it up. Police say the motorcyclist died on scene. He was 51 years old. We're still waiting to learn his identity. Also happening right now, more protests across the nation. Here's a live look from Miami, Florida. Students there are taking to the streets in protest of President-elect Donald Trump. And there you see the scene right now, backing up traffic in Miami right now. We'll keep an eye on this one and see how it progresses throughout the evening. Also, local protests continue today. Hundreds of high school students from Denver Public Schools walked out in protest of Trump. They walked along Federal Boulevard this afternoon. The students are following a nationwide movement of protests. The schools have not commented on the kids participating in protests. And again, protests turned into riots throughout the night in Portland, Oregon. Dozens of demonstrators smashed windows and vandalized cars. Now, many of those people are under arrest. Many people who participated made sure their voices were heard.
This is what happens when you elect a fascist, racist bigot.
The chairman of the RNC, Reince Priebus, responded to the protest today, saying he respects everyone's right of freedom of speech, but reminds everyone the election is over. He encourages everyone to start coming together to move forward. Protesters also taking to the streets of Denver, shutting down roads and prompting a police presence with a similar message for the president-elect. The demonstration started at the steps of the state capitol building, moving toward the 16th Street Mall, eventually shutting down streets and exits to I-25. A group was still protesting into the early hours of the morning. So what exactly are these protests in Denver accomplishing? KRDO News Channel 13's Eric Fink spoke with local leaders on both sides of the aisle who are asking the same question. Eric?
Well, Heather, it's raw emotion after a raw, bitter year-and-a-half campaign. And in our divided nation, 2 politicos from southern Colorado on the same page, wondering about the effectiveness of these protests. Donald Trump rides a wave of anti-Washington fury to the White House. Now another kind of fury seen on our streets. El Paso County GOP Chairman Jeff Hayes argues these protests aren't constructive.
I think it's D&D, Eric. It's delegitimize and deflect. I think it's a highly organized and orchestrated effort to delegitimize the Trump presidency right off the bat. I don't think it's a legitimate, spontaneous outrage.
One active Democrat says he understands why people on his side are protesting. He says they're letting off steam after a very difficult loss. But he will choose to spend his time instead working to get more and more Democrats registered into the party and working to get Democrats elected up and down the ballot in 2018.
I prefer to be busy organizing, getting people involved, extending our reach a little further. I think it's more productive in the long run.
And this Democrat contends the president-elect stands for everything his party fought against for generations. And Blair believes that is at the root of the anger.
We reject the president-elect!
Our view of what the country should look like is taking making a reverse, a U-turn. And that's what we're upset about.
Hayes says he doesn't take issue with voicing one's beliefs.
I would never advise them to quit fighting because they obviously believe in their dreams and their vision and their methodology, but you got to be respectful of other people, and you have to also respect the process. The process acted out.
And Trump will be the 5th president to take office in January without winning the popular vote. In studio tonight, Eric Fink, KRDO News Channel 13.
Eric, thank you. And a change in transition. President-elect Donald Trump has tapped his vice president, Mike Pence, to lead his transition team. Chris Christie was supposed to lead that effort. However, Trump changed his mind today. With 2 months until his inauguration, Trump and his team are planning who they want to fill the cabinet.
The number one characteristic that Donald Trump is looking for is loyalty. It's something that we saw over and over in the campaign, and he also wants to have a personal relationship with whoever he chooses.
But Christie and New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani will act as 2 vice chairs to the transition. Their names are also going around as potential attorney general candidates. 3 of Trump's kids, Ivanka, Donald Trump, and Eric, will also be part of the team while they run their father's businesses, a move some analysts are calling a conflict of interest. And President-elect Trump apparently backing down from his vow to repeal and replace Obamacare in its entirety. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Trump said that he might keep the prohibition of discrimination based on pre-existing conditions and the clause that allows children to stay on their parents' insurance until they are 26. Still, Trump says he wants to move swiftly in dealing with that issue, saying patients cannot use it due to high costs. With a clean sweep for Republicans in Washington, Democrats are left wondering what's next for their party. The party now looking for a new DNC chair leader. Donna Brazile is the current leader, but the party is looking toward Keith Ellison and Martin O'Malley to take over. Ellison is a Democratic representative from Minnesota, and political analysts are looking his way.
I think that he offers a new direction for the Democratic Party, and I think he's going to get a lot of support.
The DNC warns things could get worse for the Dems before they get better. In 2 years, they will be defending nearly 24 Senate seats, a handful of which are in historically conservative states. You can find all of your Voice Your Vote coverage online at KRDO.com. Just click on Politics. One man is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Grand Junction. Police there say officers shot the man after an officer was hurt. They say he was dragged or pinned by the suspect's car. It all happened early this morning. Crews are still trying to piece together what happened. We'll bring you more when we learn more on that. A wild car chase kept Colorado State Patrol and Springs Police very busy this morning. The chase spun law enforcement in 3 different directions, starting off West Colorado Avenue, where the Sheriff's Department responded to a call of an erratic driver. State Patrol and CSPD were called in to assist. The driver would not stop, and a pursuit began, but ended quickly because of safety concerns. Shortly after, the pursuit picked up in the 1600 block of South Murray. That's where 2 State Patrol cars were damaged. Shots were fired. The suspect drove off and police continued the pursuit. CSPD officers attempted to stop the suspect to take him out, and during that process, one of the CSPD vehicles was ignited and caught on fire. No one was hurt, but the suspect and 2 officers went to a local hospital for precautionary measures. The suspect is in custody, but his identity has not been released. Coming up on KRDO News Channel 13 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear what the police department's general policy is on police chases. And Colorado Springs police are trying to find several people they say are very dangerous. The men are on the run after breaking into a home and stealing 2 cars early this morning near Maysland and Academy. Police say the suspects threatened the homeowners at gunpoint. The criminals got away with 2 cars. A chase later started when police spotted one of the stolen cars not too far away from the original scene. The suspect shot several times at the officers. They did get away. If you have any information on this case, call Springs Police at 444-7000 or Crime Stoppers at 634-STOP. Well, a busy night for police in southern Colorado. They had to handle a man suspected of shooting a gun while driving through Garden of the Gods. That also started a chase, the 3rd one of the night. Officers had to chase the man through Manitou. The driver eventually stopped in a parking lot on Manitou Avenue. He got out and tried to run, but officers were able to arrest Ammon Copeland. He's facing several charges, including DUI and carrying a large capacity magazine. Well, switching gears to weather now. A nice sunny day in Colorado Springs. The sunny weather not stopping Manitou Springs from setting up, get this, a few Christmas decorations. We want to take you outside now for a live look from Boone. Beautiful sunset right there. Let's get the latest now from Storm Tracker 13's Mike Everett, who's in for Rachel tonight. Hey, Mike.
Hey there. You know, Christmas decorations. We haven't even had Thanksgiving yet.
I know.
We haven't even had any.
Crazy.
I know. We haven't even had any weather that's starting to feel Christmassy, but hopefully that will change coming up. In the meantime, lots and lots of gorgeous skies out there today. High pressure fully in control. Here's another live look right now from our friends at Century Casino up in Cripple Creek. And as that sun's going down, all the lights coming up there. They've even got the season's greetings up there already. But one thing you'll notice tonight is as it gets darker, those temperatures are really going to drop. Already 40 degrees up there. Now here's some encouraging news today. We were seasonably normal today. It's been a really long time since we've been able to say that, but we got up to 54 in the spring. 53, nowhere near those records. 58 was what we hit in Pueblo, and you were actually 1 degree below normal, and again, nowhere near that 83 record. So things moving in the right direction. 61 was what we saw today in Denver. Lots and lots of 50s across the region. A little bit warmer out towards the western slope. 60 out there. Seeing 40s and 50s right now in a lot of spots across southern Colorado. And as we go through the evening hours, we're tracking a very cold night tonight. A lot of folks will be getting into the 20s. We're going to talk about that. A sunny weekend coming up, and hopefully some changes coming up next week. Heather, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Well, today is a day set aside to honor and give thanks to all veterans who serve our country. President Obama participating in his last laying of the wreath ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Present! Oath!
The wreath is a symbol to honor military vets, past and present, who have served and sacrificed for our country. Obama also spoke at the White House this morning, saying thank you and reminding everyone that we need to do more to help vets as they return home. The president saying we've made progress, but there's still work to be done.
It is still a tragedy that 20 veterans a day take their own lives. We have to get them the help they need.
Obama also said now more than ever we need to work as a unified nation. And Pueblo saluting the men and women who have served our country. The annual ceremony at the Veterans Bridge on the historic Arkansas River Walk comes at a time when unity is more important than ever. KRDO News Channel 13's Katie Spencer is live at the Riverwalk. And Katie, today's event center on brother and sisterhood.
Yeah, Heather, about 500 people gathered here under the Veterans Bridge at the Riverwalk to help celebrate each other and the reasons they served.
Soldier, sacrifice, hero. Just a few characteristics that describe the hundreds of veterans who gathered at the Home of Heroes.
I saw a lot of people I haven't seen for a year, and it was just a lot of fun.
It's a celebration and reflection of the service that unites these men and women.
What can I say? It was not just a job, it was an adventure.
Some memories good, others painful.
Going home to see my family before I head overseas, and I had a strawberry milkshake thrown on my uniform.
Those bad memories offer up motivations to celebrate with their brothers and sisters.
We band together as brothers.
A bond that reaches beyond a holiday.
Veterans Day is about recognizing servicemen and women not only today, but every day, and never leaving them behind.
We cannot leave a veteran behind when they leave the military and come back to their communities.
And to recognize their sacrifice to protect this country.
The reason why you're able to go about your daily life is because of a man or woman in uniform.
The Veterans Day celebrations continue tomorrow morning with a parade that starts at Union and B Streets. Reporting live in Pueblo, Katie Spencer, KRDO News Channel 13.
Katie, thank you, and thanks to all the veterans who have served. Straight ahead here on KRDO News Channel 13 at 5 o'clock, the search is on for a young mother who went missing in broad daylight. The disturbing clues that may point to an abduction. And a store in Colorado catches a shoplifter on camera. Looks like he might need a bigger coat. I'll tell you what happens next.